The impact that MICEC had on my life was huge. I'm learning about who I am as an Indigenous woman. I'll be able to give that to my children, which was something I never thought I was going to be able to do, and I was scared that I can't do that because I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know where I was even coming from. And ever since I crossed paths at MICEC, I felt a piece of my life that was missing being filled. So for that, I'm very grateful.
It's been a place where I felt like I could creatively express myself freely, and that really meant a lot to me and my growth in being able to have that confidence in my gifts and who I am again.
You know, the center is a very important cultural component of the community. In 1975, we were probably just about finishing Wabang. The center started really from the Assembly of Manitoba Chiefs, which was, I think, at that time called the Manitoba Indian Brotherhood. It was a library to begin with. That was the inception of this place. I used to come here to do research because I was teaching at that time, and there was very little information anywhere in the libraries about Indigenous or Aboriginal people, and the people were always helpful, and it was a very accommodating place.
There was really nothing, going on at the center. We were pretty well just starting up everything. But over the years, like the first 4 or 5 months when the center started, we were just getting stuff out of the library, going to the library, picking up stuff. And then we started building up little brochures and that on different groups that was working around the city and all that, dealing with Indian concerns, Indian issues and all that. And then eventually we got to buy a little bit of artwork, or a little bit of artwork was donated to us. We got these pictures on the walls here. There were 6 of them. That was the original pictures that the center got back in 1975. And we still have them yet today. That's what the center was all about back then. We had curriculum development, we had communications. That was it. That was the center.
I always enjoyed coming to work, right? I mean, they always tell you, my mom always told me, find a job you love, you never have to work a day in your life. And that's what it was like working in the center at the time, right? It was fun. We had good workers here. We had, it was more like a friendship. Some of the proudest things we did here was, we started the first Aboriginal minor hockey tournament because there was no place for our kids to play hockey at the time other than fitting into existing tournaments, existing leagues. And we wanted to offer a venue for the Aboriginal kids to come play hockey. I got calls from counselors. I said, hey, Ron, I got 8 kids, can I bring them down? I said, sure, bring them down, let them play. So the recreation component of what the center provided back then was huge.
The impact that the Cultural Center had on my life, there's a huge impact in a lot of ways. One thing is the friendships that I had here, and I've still maintained some of those where I still occasionally connect with some people from the Cultural Center, which is awesome. Also learning stuff about the language. And when you speak a different language, it opens your eyes to a different worldview, different way to communicate about the world, different way to see and perceive the world. So that's another important thing. And just learning more about the culture and the history. We rented space to, at the time it was the Manitoba Language Association, I think, and the name's changed now. But their staff were always coming and going and doing translation services and teaching language classes, and so we would collaborate with them on different things. We would sometimes get grants, so Dennis and Ron would apply for different grants, and we would do different projects to videotape different things or interview elders.
What we had here was had a recording facility. So we recorded a lot of elders, we recorded a lot of knowledge keepers, especially through the help of the late Roger Roulette.
The Ojibwe language has all of the consonants except for F, L, Q, R, V, and X.
He was a skilled linguist, right? So he spoke the language very well. He was well connected. So we interviewed a lot of elders and knowledge keepers. And that in itself was a learning lesson, because you'd be listening to the elders talking about and responding to Roger's questions, right? And didn't know it at the time, but I mean, I was getting a history lesson every time we interviewed a new elder, a new knowledge keeper.
Oh yeah. Akaming utin tayo. Siya akaming. Di ba pandan ko kuenta.
It was always a credible organization. And even though we didn't have money to burn, like they say, that we could do a lot of things that we wanted to do, we still got things done. Even though we never had hardly any money to do it, we still got to do those things somehow. What do I see as the future for MICEC? Back in '75 was, after a while, a couple of books, 5 or 6 pictures. Look at what we got today, just about 49 years later. Can you imagine if it continues for another 48, 50 years? Can you imagine what this center will look like with all the stuff that we'll have collected, all the artwork, all the artifacts? People can come here, students can come here, kids can come here, and they can learn something about their culture. If they want to learn about Ojibwe, they can come here. If they want to learn about Cree, they can come here. Deni, Michif, you know. Whatever you want to learn about, I hope that they'll have this facility still operating, and it'll be bigger and better than what it is today, that people can come here and get anything they want to get in order to learn about their culture.
I would say definitely go to the center, because people there, they're Métis, they're Anishinaabe, they're Cree, they're Dene. You'll find that they will welcome you, and that they will show you the things that you need to know in a respectful, loving, caring way, and that's the place that you will find what you are looking for. It will be a good start for you, and you can keep coming back. You'll keep going back to that place, because that's where you'll be able to learn and grow more.
I think institutions like the center are important because they preserve who we are and promote who we are. So that when young people, for example, my grandchildren, if they want to ever find out, their language, they could come to places like the center.
The cultural center is really important for the community as a whole, to preserve the culture, the history, the language, because of the library, different projects that are run out of here, videotaping events, videotaping elders. So it's good for the community because it's promoting and preserving the culture, the history, and the language. Also, it's important for the community because it's open to everybody. So whether you're Indigenous or not Indigenous, people are welcome to come here, use the library, participate in events that are run out of here.
My favorite memory at MICEC is the language immersion program in Grand Rapids and the land-based teaching that was taught by Ron Cook. The impact that MICEC have in my life is for me to learn the language of my wife, which is Ininiimowan. And it's very important for me to learn that language so I can pass it down to my children and help them identify who they are as an Ininu.
I have a lot of wonderful memories with MICC, but I would say my most favorite memory is when we went to Grand Rapids to do a week-long language immersion where I was able to learn Inanimawin with my husband and connect with the land and my language and learn who I am as an Innu as well. To be able to speak the language to my future children and give them something that I was never able to receive growing up, that's a gift and a blessing that MICC has been able to bless me with, and I'm forever grateful for that.
I think that it brings people together. I know for myself that when I come here, like everybody's always, feels comfortable in the space and free to be themselves. And like whenever I come here, everybody's laughing and everybody's joking around. And I think that's really important because we're always, like in the outside world, we're always taught or we feel like we have to have our guard up. And I feel like this is a space that you can come to come let it down.
Kuask menosa no muta tapetu tiag, inugugagi nagego no te minigayag, ebentuta magis menosik. This is a really good place to come. It greets us very well, and it's a good place to come find things.
I think for our people, we are part of institutions and part of societies that go against our culture. And it's really important to have a place to be who we are, to learn about who we are, and to be a safe place amidst colonization. I think everybody should come to MICC. There's people who need to come to be able to reconnect to their family, to reconnect to their history, to find out who they are and where they come from, to know that that's valued, to know that that's beautiful. I most want those who feel like they're not worthy to be here to come, because they are. It doesn't matter how little you know. It doesn't matter how long it's been since you've been home. It doesn't matter if you don't know who you are. You belong here and will help.